All right, guys. What's up? Today I'm interviewing Jonny Sorensen, star quarterback. So let's get into it a little bit. So first of all, your height.
I'm 6'2".
All right. What class you're in,
I'm the class of 24.
and position, of course.
I play quarterback.
All right. So real quick, offers or interests and
Right
schools.
now, my only offer is Bowling Green, but I have a lot of Power 5 interests. For example, I've been on the multiple unofficials at Kentucky. I've talked to Nebraska several times, same with Illinois. I just have a lot of interest from Indiana, and then a couple MAC schools, Ball State, Toledo. Uh, that's about it right now. I only have freshman film. I played 3 games last year, not a majority of it. We had a senior quarterback, and I transferred in late, so all these schools just want 1 game of film and they'll offer. So
Wow, that's crazy that you got an offer as a freshman. That's something that I don't you don't really hear of no more.
yeah.
All right. So let's get to know you a little bit. Who or what inspired you to play football?
Um when I was younger, I played hockey a lot. I wasn't really into football. I'm not sure why, but my dad played college football. He played at a small D2 school, but I just fell in love with the game when I was about 5 or 6. And I mean, the rest is history. I just continued on that path and it's gone great.
Yeah, that's amazing. I fell in love with sports from a young age too. That's really cool to see.
And
So
it's kind of weird because my first time playing football, I always wanted to play running back. I was so mad. My coach put me at quarterback, and I was really aggravated. And now looking back on that, what if he didn't put me at quarterback? Would I be at the same situation in my life? Where would I be at?
yeah, I mean, sometimes what you think is a curse is actually a blessing in disguise.
Oh, totally.
So who is your favorite player right now in the NFL or all time? Like currently or all
It's got to be the GOAT, Tom Brady, by
time?
far. I mean, as a quarterback, you can't not love him. Like he is established. He's the mold of quarterback. But now the quarterback position is really changing. Like I'm a dual threat, so you have to have that quarterback who can run and pass. And I really compare myself a lot to now to a Justin Herbert, maybe to a little bit of Kyler. Not as much of the running as Kyler, but the passing ability is him and Herbert.
Yeah, I mean, that's some great company to be with. Kyler and Justin. From your highlights, I can definitely see that you're a dual threat quarterback. You have the speed to get out of the pocket, but you also have the arm strength, and you can see the field really well.
Yes.
All right. So, what are some hobbies or things that you like to do outside of football? Video games, anything?
Outside of football, working out. That's that's my number one. And then I'll play some video games on occasion. It's not. I mean, I'm really an avid person in school. Like I'm taking school throughout the summer so I can graduate early my senior year to go to
Wow.
college. So I don't really have a lot of time for that extracurricular stuff outside of football and outside of working out, but it's either school or video games.
Okay, so let's get into football a little bit. More of that stuff. So you said that you like to work out a lot. What does a normal day of training look like for you?
Normal day of training is I wake up about in the summer it's about 10 a.m. I'll eat some breakfast. I'll go on a 2 mile run.
Wow.
I'll come back. I'll do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, do schoolwork for about 3 or so hours. I'll do an hour straight of jump roping just to keep, that flexibility and that twitchiness in you. And then I'll go to practice later. We're practicing now about 4 hours. So get that practice in, come home. Um, and then I usually go for another little hour jog, keep, the lactic acid out,
Yeah, that's
and then repeat every day.
yeah, that's a lot, man. That's really impressive to keep up with. What's your favorite part about football, do you think?
I would have to say the leadership that comes with football and just the game. It's so fun to play because take an example. You can have Aaron Donald at how many? He bench 300 pounds, and you can have the Devontae Smith who's 160 pounds, and they're playing the same dang sport. Where else do you see that happening? It's
Yeah,
it's the sport is so diverse and anyone can play.
yeah, of course. So, we were kind of talking about earlier who you kind of see yourself in a little bit. But what would you say like your style of play is almost? Like you said that you're a dual threat quarterback, so let's go into that a little bit more.
Um, yeah, I'm a dual threat. So my options always, throw first. But when that pocket collapses, when I don't like what I'm reading, I will definitely get out of that pocket and I'll run. I mean, I'm a great runner. That's as high a position as I can throw it. So I'm the fastest player on my team. So
Wow, I mean that's something that you're kind of starting to see a little bit more of today. You know, when the guy that's like Kyler Murray or Lamar Jackson, but to be the fastest player on your team as a quarterback, that's a special thing, especially to be able to throw as well. Like you're not just limited to one thing.
yes, yes. And that's because these defenses are so complex these days in high school football, in college football, in the NFL. So the quarterback can't just be handicapped to that pocket. He has to expand.
Yeah, of course. So, I know you've been to some camps. I think you actually said six, and you were almost invited to all of them.
Yes, I've gone to six this summer so far. I started out with Notre Dame. Was
Wow.
not invited to that one. That was a big prestigious one I was happy to go to. I balled out, talked to Toledo when I was there, talked a little bit to Notre Dame, but they have that recent commitment from CJ Carr, so that's obviously off the table. I got invited to IU. That went very, very well. Talked to them a lot more. Got invited to Purdue, balled out there. This past week, I was at Illinois and Kentucky. Got invited to both of those, and it's amazing. I love the campuses Champaign has in Illinois, and it's second to none in Lexington with the family culture and all that down there. And
Yeah.
then this week, tomorrow, I have Northwestern.
Oh, okay, okay. You're really sticking to some Illinois schools, huh?
Yeah, I mean it's the Midwest, so
Yeah, of course.
but
So,
at the end of July, I am going to Alabama to compete there. So
wow. So, obviously you meet a lot of great talent there, and you also get to develop your style of play a little bit in those camps. So, how important was that to you towards your success as a player so far, and maybe even getting offers?
uh,
Those camps.
camps really are to develop yourself because you want to this whole off season you have worked with yourself and some others. You haven't gone out there to see what your competition is. So these camps really are eye opening for your competition, but also eye opening for you to get better, to take tips from these other players and expand, your toolbox of what you can use. So these camps very I mean, you I'm it's some of the best quarterback coaches in the game you're learning from, and you're having one-on-one conversations learning from them. So it's awesome.
Yeah, and you also get to meet a couple of people who might be your wide receivers at the next level. Um,
Well, I've at these camps, I've seen some dudes that make some catches I never dreamed would be made. I mean, these Odells that are insane, man. It's crazy.
yeah, it's probably really enjoyable just to go to those camps, not only to see who you're going up against and watch you perform, but some of those receivers that are just almost saving you sometimes.
You're right about that. Because when you're that top receiver and you're at that next level, any ball thrown to you, those dudes are getting.
Yeah,
Like if it's in that catch radius, they are securing it.
yeah, definitely. What is the big? So, what would you say is some drills that you've done that kind of have contributed to your success a lot? I know running a lot has been probably a big part of it.
Um, it's not even a drill, but really like really conditioning my arm, like taking care of my arm, all that. Like my freshman year, I had an extraordinary year. But after the season, I had a lot of arm pain, a lot of problems, not really with my arm, but using it so much. So this past season, I've developed an arm care to keep it in touch, to keep it where it needs to be so I can keep doing day in, day out of what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah,
That's
so
really
this Yeah, yeah, definitely. So this question is kind of similar to the last one. what do you contribute your success to? Like, what is the biggest key in your success?
Biggest key in my success. Do you mean like on the field, like ability?
On the field and off the field, what would you contribute? What would you say contributes the most to your success?
Most of my success is my athletic ability and my mind, because as a quarterback, you have to be smart. You have to know what the defense is doing. You can't, in these next levels, you can't just go out there and wing it. I mean, these defense coordinators are so complex. These defenses are insane. When you get to the line, you have to know if they're in cover one, they're in cover two, they're in cover four, they're in cover three, sky, Tampa. You have to know what they're in to get your play done. I mean, your mind is just as important now as your athletic ability. So those two go hand in hand.
Yeah, definitely. Because really, towards the end of their high school career, when you start to get play against really good talent, and when you're starting to get scouted for colleges, you really start to realize who those top guys are. Because you'll get guys just coming out that are athletic freaks, but they have no, they have no mental game at all. And then another thing is, I think you especially know this as a leader and as a quarterback. Some guys, you'll have guys that make mistakes, and you have to put it on yourself. You have to make sure that they're not thinking about it too much. Just put the blame on yourself and let them go back out there and do it. And that's really a tough mental thing to do to yourself.
That's a great point you made there. Yeah, it's some of these people in high school, they get so down on themselves when they shouldn't. I mean, one play happens. The mentality I had, one play happens, it's if it's bad, go make a good play. You got to bounce back from it. There's football, you have to have short-term memory, especially a quarterback. One term my quarterback coach uses all the time is short-term memory. You throw a pick, so what? Go throw a touchdown. But you throw a touchdown, you can't go out there and throw a pick. You gotta keep level-headed and keep striving to be better in the next play.
Exactly. What I've heard from a lot of coaches is you can't have too much of like a mountain with your emotions. It can't go really high then really down. You got to try to stay more even with it.
Oh, totally. I totally agree.
So, can you tell us a little bit about your experience with the recruiting process and how you got noticed?
Recruiting
Besides your
process.
talent, of course.
Yes, that's my talent. Something I really have utilized is Twitter. Twitter is there to help you, not hurt you. I mean, you can contact any coach anywhere, follow any coach, send them your huddle, get on unofficial visits, all that. And also a lot of coaches from 7-on-7 seeing me and then coming to my school to watch me work out. I mean, I've worked out for a good amount of colleges so far, and it's gone well because once you get them in the door, you're so many steps ahead of anybody else. I mean, but Twitter is really the thing you have to utilize. It's there to help you.
Yeah, definitely. You see a lot of guys nowadays using social media to just get themselves out there, which is a
The
big
one thing
part.
about the social media is you got to be smart about that. Don't
Yeah,
be, you know,
you can't be posting too many things that you got to show who you are as a person. But you can't post too many things that will show the negative side. You kind of got to stay strictly to business almost.
totally. Yes. Yes.
So, what is a highlight of your high school career so far? And what is it that you wish you would have done? Maybe not even high school, just in general.
Highlight of my high school career has to be week 3 of this year, fourth quarter, 2 minutes left, balls on the 5, 4th and 4. Um, I scored the game-winning touchdown, and I'll show you the clip in a little bit. The whole line just pushed me over. That was probably the hardest play I've ever had, but it's definitely the most memorable.
Yeah, and but that probably contributes a lot to the mental game because most guys have the physical ability to do it, but they psych themselves out too much or they overthink it. I bet you just went out there and you knew what you had to do and you executed.
I knew what I had to do, and yes, I did execute. It was totally mental because I was in a pile for about 5 seconds. Anybody could have given up, but no, kept the feet driving, and next thing I know, I'm in the end zone and won the game.
Yeah, of course. So we've kind of been talking about the mental game and all that. What is some advice you'd give to younger players who have the skill or have a lot of potential, but they don't know how to utilize it?
At the quarterback position, I'd say get with a quarterback coach, really. Quarterback coaches double as working on your athletics, but also if you have a good one, he will focus on the mental side of the game. He will develop you not only as a player, but also as a person. And in college, you can be a great player, but you have to be a good person. I mean, the past school, the workload of school, the workload of football. You have to continue and drive through all that. But for the younger kids, just work really on yourselves, being level-headed. Don't get too cocky, don't get too confident. Just keep level-headedness and really just work, work. That's as a young kid, work. You mean that's the best time of your lives then.
Yeah, of course. You got to be able to enjoy it, but you also have to be able to work for it. Because what you see in a lot of guys nowadays is they'll get really upset or down on themselves, and they think that that's gonna drive them to work. But really, what it is, when you get down on yourself, you kind of almost shut everything out. What you got to do
Everything,
is
yes, everything
understand
shuts down.
defeat, but not accept it.
Totally. Yes, everything just shuts down. You can't be that mental demon on yourself.
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, are you ready to break down some film?
Yes, let me pull it up real quick.
All right. So, real quick, everybody, I'm not gonna be talking too much. I'm gonna kind of let him break it down, and then maybe after the plays, he'll pause it, and I might be able to add a little something. But it keeps cutting to me whenever I talk, so I don't want to say too much during your film.
All right, so here's my freshman film. It loads. This was a broken play, actually. It's supposed to be power left. It was a bad snap, so against Chester, take it up the sideline, breakaway. I've gotten faster since then, don't worry, but I did get caught. This was my go-to receiver my freshman year. He was a nasty slot. I mean, I had the majority of my touchdowns to him. Same play here. I mean, you'll see a couple of these on here. This was a broken play. This is actually against my new team. So I was at Crown Point, transferring to Lake Central. Right here, our coach gave us before the game. This was lined up hitches, but I noticed they were in man. So if they're in man, we're always going to switch. So I switched to goes on the man, and we threw a nice fade for touchdown, which stopped in the wall.
So, real quick, wow, your ability to just be able to I'm like a loss for words on how you're able to just thread it through the defense. It's like you have like an inch of room between the receiver and the DB, and somehow you find the perfect spot to put it in. That is something that I've never seen. And then you throw on the run. Like most guys, when they're throwing on the run, they don't have the power and accuracy, but you're crossbody jumping in the air, throwing it to a guy.
Yeah,
And it's accurate.
that's always been my talent, is throwing on the run and stuff. That's something I strive myself in, and at the next level, that's what they really like about me. I can really rip it on the run. So yeah, here's this one again, hitch and go lined up. Couple more of these, and I'll switch to the one clip I was talking about from this year.
Where did that speed come from? You just got that sucker and ran right up the middle. Like I barely saw the play. I was looking to see where you're gonna throw, and all of a sudden, just take up off the middle and it's like you were running a 40-yard dash, just
Yeah, it
open
is.
room,
Yeah.
boom.
When that pocket collapses, you got to have that split-second decision and take off. But my freshman year, I got caught a little bit. I'm a lot faster than I was then, but I was like a little bulldozer my freshman year. I gotta see. There's one more play I want to show you with that throwing on the run. Here, it's not this one. Hold on. You could watch that. This is the play I wanted you to watch.
You ran like, bro, they collapsed on you so quick. You ran like 15 yards behind the line, and then they
Yes,
know how to throw a dot.
yes, that the line did collapse, and I was running for my life there. I still remember that play like it was yesterday. I remember the feeling. I was like, oh my God, I have to get this out. I have to get this out. And I ripped it down there to we had a fade call, but he switched it back to like a 25-yard stop, and we hit him and ended up scoring the next play. All right, I'll pull up the one clip I said I'll never forget. So 4th and 4, 2nd and 4, but there was like 5-10 seconds left in the game. Game over. Yeah, that's one play I will never forget. That's for sure. I broke 6 tackles. You can
Are you still mad about not being a running back because you just broke 6 tackles as a quarterback?
uh maybe a little bit, but I'm happy where I'm at. The quarterback position has changed, and we have a very good running back for us too. So me and him go hand in hand. There's not many teams that can stop the two of us running it.
Yeah. All right. That was a great interview.